people got into the DMs and the comments and were asking, why didn't Paul Hughes get nominated for the Irish lightweight fighter of the year?
The Energized Show, up the Irish.
Okay, here we go. Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Our Kings Competitions. Ross,
are you intoxicated or something?
Welcome back to the show, bud. 2026. Happy New Year to you and everyone tuning in.
We are back, and apologies to everyone who's been giving out saying, "Where's the show? Where's the show?" It was award season, baby, and that's what we're getting into to start with. So we're going to talk about the Energized Awards, who was voted the winner of each category, and whether we believe they were the rightful winner or not, Basno. So let's get into it.
Yeah, right. So we should start at the very, very start. Also, if you are new to the Energized Show, make sure to like and subscribe, because we are here every week, aren't we, Ross?
Yeah, we are, absolutely. We also got a request for like BJJ Player of the Year, Muay Thai Player of the Year, BJJ Event of the Year. We got a few more requests in to do more awards. So if there's any awards you'd like to see for 2026, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, I'm already looking forward to next year's awards, man. It's going to be a very, very energized year.
It's
energizing year, to be exact. Okay, Ross, we're going to start off at the very, very beginning, right? We started the Energized MMA Awards on the 22nd of December. They've literally gone on nearly a month. So we started with the Energized Show's Amateur Flyweight of the Year, and the nominations were Ben Mahon from SPG Charlestown, Nate the Great Kelly from SPG Ireland, Ricky De Harujo from Team Torres, and Sean Carmody from MMA Cork. And Ross, Ben Madden from SPG Charlestown was voted the People's Champion. What did you make of this one, bud?
The People's Champion, also my champion as well. Ben Madden had an absolute phenomenal year. We were actually there live to watch him up in Akuma. He looks like an absolute standout talent. He's done phenomenal stuff. He looks like he's going to be a generational talent. He's one of the best fighters. He looks like he's going to be one of the best fighters SPG Charlestown will ever produce. The guy can put it all together. He's an absolute superstar, the kid. So fair play to him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him win it again next year if he's still in the amateur ranks.
Do you know what, right? I was like, what would make this show very interesting? I was like, how can each of these fighters improve, right? And obviously we're going to kick it off with Ben Mahon. What do you think he can improve? Because that was like a very high rating, Ross.
I think all he needs is more cage time, and he's getting a lot of cage time, but just more cage time. The sky's the limit for the guy, and it really, really is. He's got knockout power. He's got great submissions, great wrestling. Look, he's a real standout talent, and he seems to be, a humble but ambitious kid. So, look, I'm not here to give Ben Madden advice. He seems to be keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this chap is a star. Like, literally, he is a star. So congratulations, Ben Mahon, SPG Charlestown's very own. Then we went into the Amateur Bantamweight of the Year. The nominations were Henry Lecca from CMAC, Shane Dunn from Era Grapple, Owen Mass Oliver from Fight Academy Ireland, and Owen Gurl from Yoda Martial Arts. And Ross, the winner was Owen Mass Oliver from Fight Academy Ireland.
Yeah, Owen Mass Oliver. He will not be eligible for next year, as he will make his pro debut at the next Cage Conflict show in March. Owen Mass Oliver, he's won belts in Wales, Scotland, Ireland, England. He is the #1 amateur bantamweight across the UK and Ireland. Another great year out of him. But look, stiff competition. Obviously, Henry Lecca, very impressive this year. Had a good run in the IMAS, but I think he wasn't cleared medically to fight for one of the fights, so he never actually lost. Won the Wrath Championship as well. Shane Dunn went and won titles abroad as well. And Owen Garl was really, really active this year. We actually watched him fight up in Akuma. Some tough fighters there at the bantamweights. But look, I'm not going to take anything away from Owen Mass Oliver. Very, very impressive this year.
No, I 100% agree. I think he has so many amateur titles at this rate. He's looking forward to adding a few pro ones. Ross, what would you like to see from Owen Mass Oliver this year? Because now, as you said, he's turned pro. He's with Fight Academy Ireland. Like, what would you like to see from Owen this year?
I'd like to see him do maybe like 3-0 on the regional scene before he takes a jump. But then again, the likes of Cage Warriors, the likes of PFL are going to be looking at him. He looks like a really top talent. the guys up there rate him really, really highly. So we'll see how long he can stay on the regional scene. But I think if he could headline the next two cage conflict events, and people will be all for it.
Yeah, exactly. As Ross said, Owen will make his pro debut at Cage Conflict. Then Ross, in the amateur featherweight of the year, the nominations were Jake and Guy from CMAC, Michael Cronley from Craic, Michael Shields from Fight Academy Ireland, and Tom Buckley from Samson's Martial Arts. And the winner was Michael Shields from Fight Academy Ireland.
Yeah, formerly Energized amateur fighter of the year as an overall. Now he's the amateur featherweight of the year. Look, Michael Shields come on leaps and bounds in his career. He's actually fighting next on your championship against Michael Cartmill, who was probably the next man up out of the featherweights. Michael Shields has been an absolute superstar at that weight class. He's only young. I think he's only 20 years of age. So we'll see plenty of improvements from his game. He's already one of the best amateurs in the country, so really looking forward to seeing him against another star sort of field with the likes of Jake and Guy, who became IMA national champion for a third time, went to one elite championship belt, I think won a Euro championship belt as well. So Michael Shields, top guy, very, very impressive this year.
Yeah, like that's the thing. The talent and the nominations is actually like very, very impressive for like an island not so big. Then Ross, this one got very controversial now. So the amateur lightweight of the year, the nominations were Shane Hurley from Samson's Martial Arts, Kieran Maskey from ZKJ, Blaine McGill from Fight Academy Ireland, and Luka Nadarashvili from MMA Cork. And the winner was Blaine McGill, Ross.
Yeah, look, for me, I think Kieran Maskey deserved to win it just because he beat Blaine McGill in what was the fight of the year. Unbelievable fight from the two guys. But look, at the end of the day, Blaine McGill is a serious talent. I don't think he'll be eligible next year because I think he is someone who will go pro. But Kieran Maskey, I think he's 8-0 or 9-0 as an amateur now. He is the number one lightweight in the country to beat. But look, not going to take anything away from Blaine McGill as well. Absolute phenomenal talent with the both of them. And as you always say, Basil, Blaine McGill doesn't know how to be in a boring fight.
Well, that's the thing. Like, obviously, Kieran Maskey and Blaine McGill had like an epic fight. We'll get into that later. But the way Blaine McGill, when he goes in there, it's must-see TV. Like, as we said on previous shows, he's put it out in his own social medias. Like, and at the end of the day, people can say what they want about awards, but they're popularity contests. But in the game of mixed martial arts and almost in life, life is a popularity game. Like, people are tuning in.
Bums and seats matter.
Exactly, man. If you need to sell tickets, and one person who sells tickets is Blaine McGill, and I think he was close to overall being the most voted person in all the polls as well. So Blaine McGill, like, he is one person not to miss. Hopefully we see him back out in action soon. Then Ross, the amateur welterweight of the year, the nominations were Alex Keogh from SBG Nace, Tristan Barnett from SBG Ireland, Jordan Scully from SBG Nace, and Bradley Rice from Next Gen Northern Ireland. And the winner was Tristan Barnett from SVG Ireland.
Yeah, Tristan Barnett went and won the Clan Wars title. He beat Peter Hapney up in Clan Wars, which is a huge win. Obviously, Peter Hapney has been on the scene a long time. He's a bit of a wily vet at this stage on the amateur scene. And Tristan Barnett has showed massive improvements in his game to go up there and capture that Clan Wars belt. So fair play to him. I do think in a vote like that, having two SPG Nace guys in it, like, sort of hampers them because it splits the SPG Nace vote. But Alex Keogh will be turning pro. He's actually got a contract with Cage Warriors, so it'll be interesting to see when he's next out because he's an absolute killer. And then Jordan Scully, he's been on the scene for a long time and he's recently over there, getting the rounds in with Justin Gaethje. So that's pretty cool to see. And then Bradley Rice, he had one of the knockouts of the year there this year. He's an absolute phenomenal athlete. So looking forward to seeing what he does in 2026. But loads of talent there at welterweight, Pasmo.
Yeah, exactly. That was a very popular vote as well. So shout out Tristan, can't wait to see him back in action. Then going into the amateur middleweight of the year, the nominations were Fiona Rourke from SPG Cork, Eric Marcoux from CMAC, Senan Coakley, now fighting out of Fight Academy Ireland, and Ucha Nadarashvili from Houlihan Martial Arts. And the winner was Fiona Rourke from SVG Cork, Ross.
Yeah, Fiona O'Rourke won the IMAs early in the year, beat the likes of Caleb Leach from Hula Martial Arts. Looks like he is very, very good wrestling pedigree, so it'll be interesting to see what he does in 2026. Maybe one of the under-the-radar fighters in 2025. Obviously, Senan Coakley will make his pro debut on the next Cage Conflict show as the co-main event to Omar Oliver. So, look, Fiona O'Rourke could go back-to-back at amateur middleweight. But again, Eric Markey had a great year, as did Uche Nardashvili, and Daniel Lara also picked up the Akuma middleweight belt this year as well. So middleweight was hot this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I think once you get to sort of middleweights in Ireland, the amount of them definitely diminishes compared to welterweights and below.
Yeah, I'd agree. The thing is, like, obviously Fiona O'Rourke, great year. But the thing is, Senan Coakley as well. That's someone to definitely watch this year as well, turning pro, as Ross said, on Cage Conflict. Excuse me. Ross, we'll go into the light heavyweights. The nominations were Colm Dennehy from MMA Cork, Destiny Eziobi from Sanda, Charlie Ashmore from Mayalo, and Connor McDermott from Next Gen Northern.
No, Combat
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And the winner was Ross. It was Destiny Eziobi from Sanda. Ross, what you make of this one?
Yeah, look, Destiny had a great year. He's very interesting to watch. He knows how to use his length in the fights. My hope for him is that he just gets enough fights to be active over the next year. He might have to venture across the UK maybe to find a few more 205ers that he can get in there and compete with. But be very, very interested to see how he goes in 2026.
Exactly. And then, Ross, with the amateur heavyweight of the year, we have Michael Okoli from Relentless Martial Arts, Brian Draper from Team Rhino, Matthew Poore from Fight Academy Ireland, and also David O'Donovan.
First of all, shout out to Matthew Poore, who was in the gym at Logan Paul yesterday, which was a random thing. WWE's up in Belfast.
Sorry, David O'Donovan was fights out of Nafina MMA.
Yeah, I think he's also one of the head coaches there as well. Obviously not one of the most well-known gyms, but just goes to show David O'Donovan representing. Brian Draper, Curtains, as they call him, or the Big Sexy, whatever way you want to go about it. He was tough winning the award. I think next time we see Brian Draper in the cage, it will be a pro moment for him. So let's see how big the Big Sexy Brian Draper gets on next time out. Put on a great performance against Kyle O'Brien down in Fares Fighting Championship.
Yeah, I really want to see Brian Draper on Cage Warriors, man. So
I think Brian Draper wants to see Brian Draper on Cage Warriors.
Yeah, from according to his content, that's exactly where he wants to go this year. So shout out Brian Draper, and shout out to all the male amateurs as well on an epic year, because the amount of people coming in and voting was crazy. Then, Ross, we have to move to the Energized Amateur Female of the Year. The nominations were Amy Scully from SPG Ireland, Ava Cruz from SPG Ireland, Jodie McCarthy from MMA Cork, and Chloe Krausier from Next Gen Northern Ireland. And the winner was Chloe Krausier, Ross.
Yeah, look, Chloe Krausier, she's been around for a little while now. I think we'll see her turn pro in 2026. She went and won titles over across in the UK this year. I think she's really, really ready for that. I think Amy Scully will probably see maybe another full year at amateur. I think Ava Cruz has been flirting with pro for a while. And I think Jodie McCarthy's gone over to fight in FCC. So she's a real talent. Looks like she has real superstar potential as well. So I'd love to see her just develop her game and round out that little bit more before she gets the urge to turn pro, because someone with that star power can be rushed into the pro game.
Yeah, I think all four of them have star power as well. Even Chloe was on a BBC documentary representing martial arts as well. So, Ross, it's time to get into the Energized Pro Flyweights of the year. First off, we have Jer Harris from Team Rhino, then Jamie Abbott-Bissett from Team Rhino, Damien McGuigan from Fight Academy Ireland, and Gary Rooney from Brew Grappling. And the winner was Gary Rooney, Ross.
Yeah, look,
flats.
Gary Rooney had two unbelievable chokes this year. You got the Rooney choke, and you got an arm bar over in Rome. Definite deserved winner. I think he was his performance were next to perfect this year under the Cage Warriors banner. And Gary Rooney is definitely someone to watch out for in 2026 as he makes the ascent up the Cage Warriors flyweight ranks.
No, I 100% agree. Just even the atmosphere he brings as well. You can say that about Jer Harris and Damon McGuigan as well. And and unfortunately, Jamie Ababiza only fought once this in 2025. People were also asking Ross why didn't Jer Burns from Fight Academy Ireland or Fufu Fares from SPG Cork get a nod?
Yeah, so with Jared Burns, like, look, he probably could have been in there. I think we looked at it and, you know, we compare. He was 1-1 and Jared Harris was 1-1. Jared Harris, he lost by decision and won with a finish, and then Jared Burns, he lost by finish and then won by decision. So it was really, you know, pick him on who went in, but you know, we do like people who finish fights, and Jared Harris got the finish, so that sort of secured his spot in there. And then Fufu Fares, it was a bit of a strange one because he fought 2 catchweight fights, so you know, probably a bit of an oversight that he should have went into either the flyweight or the bantamweight. But you know, he's the 130-pound energized fighter of the year, super flyweight or junior bantamweight, whatever way you want to call it. But no, Fufu Fares probably should have got into one of the awards somewhere. But again, he'll have another big 2026, and he's smashing it over in UAE Warriors.
Exactly.
Make me to be the bad guy, Basmo.
Yeah, no. In fairness, man, we're in this together, man. But look, we're not perfect, and we tried our best, and I think it went pretty well.
Yeah,
Ross. Well, according to the numbers, it went pretty well. Ross, we'll get into the bantamweight because this one was stacked with people. There was 8 nominations. We'll kick it off with Kieran Brady from Team Torres, Shane Mullen from SPG Ireland, Cain Lochran from Fight Academy Ireland, and Armin Hersig. And the winner of that category was Cain Lochran, Ross. Then we'll go into part 2. Jordan Bradshaw from CMAC, Ronan Deegan from Aero Grapple, Owen MacDonald from Fight Academy Ireland, and Jack Core from ZKJ. That then went to the finale between Jordan Bradshaw and Cain Lochran, Ross, and the winner was Jordan Bradshaw from CMAC.
Yeah, look, bantamweight stacked at the moment. Funny enough, Shane Mullen and Armin Hersig are fighting each other for Armin's title on Samurai Fighting Championships, which is a Welsh promotion with 2 Irish people headlining, which is very strange. But look, I'm here for it. Yeah. Kieran Brady had a phenomenal year. He was very unfortunate to lose his last fight. Owen MacDonald looked great. He had the win over in LFL and then picked up a win on short notice in Rath. So that was great to see. I only watched his Rath finish there today. Some lovely leg kicks in. Ronan Deegan, obviously turned pro, won up in Clan Wars. Excited to see what he's going to do this year. I think, you know, maybe not enough time for him to have a bigger year. And then Jack Core was phenomenal. You know, putting Gladiator on his back and carrying the promotion as Mr. Main Event there. I'd love to see a PFL or a Cage Warriors snap up Jack Core for his next out, and he looks really, really good. And then I suppose to go back to the 2 people in the final, Cain Lochran and Jordan Bradshaw. Jordan Bradshaw, the only Irishman to fight on RAs. Now he's 2-0 on RAs. He is really makes noise over there. He's fighting again this month, and he'll look to make it 3-0, and no doubt he will. And then Cain Lochran, some people said, like, oh, he was only 1-1 this year. Why'd you put him in? Look, Cain Lochran is the only Irish person to ever win a fight at bantamweight from Ireland. So at the end of the day, in the UFC. So like that's something that we don't take lightly. All these fighters dream of fighting in the UFC. Cain Lochran did it, and he was victorious there. And that is why that win carries an awful lot of weight. And look, for me, Jordan Bradshaw winning, I'm totally fine with that. I probably would have been fine with Cain Lochran winning. I probably would have been fine with someone like Jack Core winning. Bantamweight is a division definitely to watch out for this year, because if you look at all those guys' careers, even Cain Lochran, they're all very young in their career. I don't think, if you take out Cain Lochran, I think the next most fights is 5 fights. So they're all super young in their bantamweight career. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go from here.
Oh no, like the bantamweights, hence why there was 8 people selected. Paddy Hoolan, our good mate, was in the comments saying, why didn't we pick Georgie Grozov, Ross? to be
Yeah,
nominated.
Georgie Grozov, he went 1-1 this year. He got a lovely finish over in WoW FC. Look, he definitely would have been the next man up, but we tried to get as many people with winning records in as we could. The only person who didn't have a winning record is Caolan Loughran. But look, obviously, as we touched on there, a win in the UFC means more than a win on the regional scene. I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. As we said, we're not perfect, but we try to do as best we can, Ross. Isn't that right?
Yeah, our very best.
Our very best. Like there was a lot of thought put into this. Like, so then, Ross, we'll go into the featherweight fighter of the year. This one was absolutely stacked as well, Ross. I had no more than three pages, so I had 12 fighters. So we'll kick it off with the first page was Alexander O'Sullivan from CMAC, Max Lally from SPG Charlestown, Nikolai Grozdev from SPG Ireland, and Dame McKenna from OMA Team Rhino. Then the winner of that category was Max Lally. Then we go into the second part. Kikyo from CMAC, Pedro Carvalho from SPG Ireland, Lewis Byrne from Team Rhino, and Scott Harvey from Fight Academy Ireland. And the winner of that category was Kikyo. And finally, the James Gallagher from Subzone, Richie Smullen from SPG Ireland, Solomon Simon from Team Rhino, and Corey McLaughlin from Fight Academy Ireland. And the winner was Solomon Simon. And in the finale, the three were Max Lally from SPG Charlestown, Keith Kyo from CMAC, and Solomon Simon from Team Rhino. And the winner was Maximus Lally from SPG Charlestown, Ross.
Yeah, for me, Solomon Simon should have won this one. He's the Cage Warriors featherweight champion of the world. Not to take away from anyone else, but that was the best achievement out of all the featherweights this year, in my opinion, and I think he should have won. But just to sort of recap it, I think Nikolai Grozdev, maybe not as popular as the other ones, but his featherweight win over Brett Johns, that is probably equally impressive as Solomon Simon's Cage Warriors win. So shout out to him. Obviously, Max Lally was very impressive this year, picking up two big wins. Alex O'Sullivan actually had one win at featherweight and then one win at lightweight, which is he took a fight on short notice, so fair play to him. Pedro Carvalho won the WNC title. That was obviously a big win. Scott Harvey picking up big win at Cage Warriors. Kikyo on a tear, got the win over Damian McKenna. Very impressive. James Gallagher obviously submitting the black belt over in what's Munir Aziz? What's it called?
Dubai.
Yeah, but do you know what his promotion's called? Munir Aziz one? Can't think of it off the top of my head. Not really a big deal. Corey McLaughlin beating Nahom Weddy at PFL Europe. That was obviously a massive fight, lots of eyes on it. And then Richie Smullen, he defeated a 16-3 opponent in Octagon. So some really impressive wins over there. But for me, Solomon Simon was probably my featherweight of the year. But look, not going to take anything away from Max Lally. Incredible year. You know, won his toughest fight today. And I think the sky's the limit for that guy. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him when Solomon Simon swans off the UFC after Cage Warriors 200. I wouldn't be surprised to see Max Lally picking up a Cage Warriors belt in the future. I think that's just something that's going to happen.
James Gallagher fought 971 MMA, Ross.
971 MMA as well.
How did you forget that, man? Gee.
I don't know, man. Sorry.
Research was terrible today, man. No, look, as everyone in the country knows, the final three picks of Keith Kyo, Max Lally, and Solomon Simon, like the featherweight division in Ireland is absolutely stacked. Solomon Simon achieving gold in Cage Warriors, like that is every person's dream to win that and eventually go to the UFC. Solomon could be potentially headlining Cage Warriors 200. It's either between himself or Paddy McCurry headline Cage Warriors 200. We'll see what happens there. But like Kikyo, another phenomenal year. The way he won in Cage Warriors twice, the reception he got, even the way Cage Warriors are getting behind Kikyo, like he is a star. And then also Max Lally, like what more needs to be said? Like I think he's the most supported, most like watched, like most followed.
Yeah, he has a superstar quality about him, and it's just undeniable.
Yeah, I don't think there's many people in the country who
He-
do not like Max Daly, but
Yeah, his support unit, it's almost like its own organization in a way.
yeah, like for instance,
Unit.
myself and Ross were at Cage Warriors in Dublin. I think it was Max Daly's debut in Cage Warriors, and like we were walking around the arena, and people were talking to us walking around. They're like, "We came here just to see Max Daly. We don't know him, but we're here to see Max Daly," and it was like, "Wow." Like
Yeah.
very impressive. Like all the no wonder.
Yeah, he already has fans, like proper fans. Which
Yeah,
is,
and
which
like
is cool to see.
yeah, like yeah, and like Volkanovski training with Volkanovski, the stuff he's doing in the background is great. Like a lot of these people, the ceiling is very very high. I think like if you're new to this show and you're just finding out about these fighters, there's a lot of potential here. And as always, we'll be promoting them all. As
Also,
always.
out of all the votes, I think the pro featherweight had the most amount of votes out of all the pro fighters.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Then Ross, may as well move into the lightweights, as we had 8 nominees. In the first one, it was between Omar Tugarev from Team KF, Dara Kelly from SPG Ireland, Marco Boychuk from Morris Martial Arts, and Dennis Frimpong from Manchester Top Team. And the winner in that category was Dara Kelly from SPG Ireland. And in the second category, Craig McGrattan from Team KF, Dylan Logan from Kildare Martial Arts, Conor McCarthy from SPG Ireland, and Roman David from Team KF. And
McCarthy from SPG Nace.
Sorry, do you know what? I was actually put off because I'm looking at Roman David's name and it was spelled wrong. So the winner in both categories, Dara Kelly went toe to toe with Conor McCarthy, and the winner was Conor McCarthy from SPG Naves. Ross.
Yeah, look, Conor McCarthy had a fantastic year, picking up wins in Cage Warriors. Omar Tugarev, if he finished the year out as the champion, maybe it could have been him. Obviously, he picked up the lightweight belt, which was huge. Marco Boychuk on the regional scene, phenomenal year. Dara Kelly in PFL, phenomenal year. Dennis Frimpong, another one who I think sometimes if you lose your last fight of the year, it can really hinder you. But he had a phenomenal year. Roman David, sensational Cage Warriors debut. Craig McGrattan, I think, went 3-0 this year. I feel like he's like a silent assassin of Irish MMA. I feel like he doesn't get the props he deserves, but he is definitely picking up the wins. And then Dylan Logan, who looks like he's going to be on the Cage Warriors 200 card, is making a real resurgence in MMA. And look, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this year. But Dara Kelly versus Conor McCarthy in the final, I think both men definitely deserve that recognition, and Conor McCarthy picks up the award. Fair play to him. Phenomenal year from him.
Yeah, it was. Really excited to see what both lads do as well, because like Dara Kelly sort of goes under the radar. I think it's the way he's getting booked to PFL. Conor McCarthy made a big splash in the yellow gloves with Cage Warriors, so it's going to be a big year for both lads, both undefeated, and definitely two to keep an eye on. Ross, then we'll go into the welterweight division. There was 2 pages of this. The first 4 were Leon Hill from Team KF, Troy Gibson from Fight Academy Ireland, Adam Darby from Team Rhino, and Cian Cowley from SPG Ireland. And the winner in that category was Adam Darby from Fight Academy Ireland. And the second category was Team KF's Omar Shaban, SPG Ireland's Owen Sheridan, Fight Academy Ireland's Reese McKee, and Shoot the Box. This is very own Ian Machado Gary. And the winner was Ian Machado Gary. And the finale between Adam Darby and Ian Gary was won by Shoot the Box's very own Ian Machado Gary. Ross.
Yeah, look, obviously, Ian Gary's beaten top 5 guys in the UFC, former champions of the UFC. Well deserved. I don't think Adam Darby would say he had a better year than Ian Gary did, but Adam Darby had a phenomenal year, went 3-0, big wins. Leon Hill had a brilliant year, main event at Cage Warriors Dublin. Troy Gibson was in one of the fights of the year against Benny Johnson up in Akuma, which was great to see. Cian Cowley won the MMA Gala welterweight belt, and then was unfortunately had that injury. Omar Shaban looked great this year, some leg kick TKO finishes, and then Reese McKee picked up that elusive win in the UFC. Unfortunately, he lost last fight, but look, one of the most exciting things of 2026 is to see Reese McKee fight next. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Will it be PFL? Will we see him back at Cage Warriors 200? Who knows? Who knows, Baz?
Yeah, no, there was someone, there was a Muay Thai fighter who left a comment on the Ian Machado Gary post. I'm just trying to find here. I was just a bit like, that was a bit reckless. Someone going, what's the name? Tom Lacey Muay Thai. It
Okay.
goes rigged. And then there was another comment as well. No, I think he was bad mouthing him or something. But I was just like, rigged. How can we rig this, man?
Yeah.
Ross, explain to the people, how can we possibly rig this, man?
There's literally no way of us rigging it. I have a vote. Barry has a vote. I think the page itself has a vote. So like we have 3 votes between the 3 of us, and that's it. Like that's how much we can sway it.
Yeah. Rigged. Oh, it's so funny, man. Ross, no, shout out to Ian. It's gonna be very, very exciting year for Ian Machado, Gary, and for Irish MMA to see can he actually win the world title this year, because that's definitely the plan. So Ross, then we go to the pro female fighter.
Middleweight.
Oh, we put that poll out. Sorry. The middleweight fighter of the year. What the nominations were: Brian Manning from MMA Cork, Jordan O'Neill from Fight Academy Ireland, Paddy McCurry from Fight Academy Ireland, and Marek Jamakawish from Fight Academy Ireland, Ross. And the winner was Fight Academy Ireland's very own Paddy McCurry, Ross. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, look, Paddy McCurry, next time we see him will be Cage Warriors 200. He will be fighting for the middleweight title. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Paddy McCurry had a phenomenal year. Obviously, he had tough as well, and he coming off that, he had some really impressive wins. And
Dana White's Contender Series.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking of, not tough. And he beat that Asian dude who I'm not going to try and say his name. So look, he wasn't happy with his performance. He came back, look good in Cage Warriors, and look, he's fighting for the belt. So I'm looking forward to seeing Paddy McCurry in 2026. I think this could be his breakout year. And look, he's flirted with the UFC twice now, so I think winning the Cage Warriors belt will be enough to get him signed. Brian Manning is obviously fighting in Octagon at the end of this month. That's going to be an absolute must-see TV. One of the most entertaining fighters this country has to offer. Jordan O'Neill, we saw the absolute carnage in his last fight, hands down, taking against, was it Mitch Raposo, I think his name, or something? Maybe I'm making that up. But anyway, it was one of the most exciting fights I've ever seen live. And then Marek is doing bits over in NFL. I'd love to see him fighting Cage Warriors maybe next, because I think he is absolutely sensational to watch.
Yeah, in the comments as well, Fight Academy Ireland's Shando said Brian Manning versus Marek on Cage Warriors 200 is the fight to make. That actually.
Oh, actually, hold on. If they're an Octagon, I think Marek would suit Octagon as well. Get Marek in Octagon and have Brian Manning versus Marek in Octagon.
That would be very, very good. But look, Paddy McCurry is going to be very interesting. As I said earlier, will he headline Cage Warriors 200, or will Solomon Simon headline Cage Warriors 200? I cannot wait to find out. We also, because
they should do a poll the way we do the polls, and whoever
they should do a poll. Ross, then, because there was no other light heavyweights with a winning record, or heavyweights with a winning record, bar Will Fleury, he was announced the
double
light heavyweight and heavyweight champion, which is very fitting because he is the Octagon light heavyweight and heavyweight champion, and we haven't been back since he reclaimed his heavyweight title. Ross, Will fucking Fleury, bro.
Man, what a fighter, what a guy. And the way he absolutely dispatched, and there's no better way of putting it than he dispatched Martin Buday. Unbelievable performance, phenomenal from Will Fleury. He really is the best heavyweight outside the UFC. I'd love to see him fight Philip DeFries next, actually. He's the KSW champion, and he's been the KSW champion for a long time, and he's out the UK. So I think that's an absolute whopper fight if we can get that. Let me see. I'm actually just, as we are live here, I'm actually just going to look up Philip DeFries here and just see.
One of Tom Aspinall's main training partners as well.
Yeah, exactly. And like I just think that's something that like I am so here for.
Yeah,
just as we just as we pull up here, because I think Philip DeFries is on an outrageous win streak, the same as Will Fleury. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 fight win streak. Philip DeFries is on. So like, let's make that happen. And his last fight was in the Czech Republic as well. So why not do Octagon KSW crossover and do Will Fleury versus Philip the Freeze? Who wouldn't watch that?
Oh,
Will
man.
Fleury, clip this and tell him that's what you want. Because I know Will Fleury wants all the biggest and best challenges.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what a win as well. Potentially the biggest win in the Irish MMA history. That one against Martin Budet.
Yeah, outside the UFC, yeah. 100%.
Outside the UFC, yeah, definitely. Ross, then the pro female fighter of the year. There was only 2 nominations. That was Shauna Bannon from Hula Martial Arts and Sinead Newline from GB Top Team. And the winner was Hula Martial Arts' very own Shauna Mama B Bannon.
Yeah, look, obviously she got the sensational armbar comeback at UFC London. Again, like those UFC wins carry an awful lot of weight. Unbelievable win from Shauna Bannon. Looking forward to seeing her get back out in 2026. I'm going to assume she's fighting around March time on that London card. And yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing Mama B back in the cage. And look, an absolute phenomenal career resurgence from Sinead Newland. I feel like she's putting it all together as well at GB Top Team. I remember commentating, she was fighting Kerry-Ann Vernon at the IMAFs Nationals, the first one. And you could just see in her, she has actually all the tools to win. But I think the biggest thing was getting down to that strawweight weight class was a big thing for her. And now that she's down at that strawweight weight class, I think if she, make sure she keeps the weight off her and keeps down at that strawweight limit, I think she is an absolute handful for anyone. She's tough as nails. She puts together her striking combos really, really well. And she has great balance as well. So, she's very hard to take down. So she can keep the fight on the feet where she's most comfortable. And I think she is a problem for anyone at 115 pounds.
Yeah. Isn't she booked again for May?
I think so, yeah.
It's May. It's not March. I think it's May,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Hopefully we actually get here before that if we can.
Yeah, I think there's talk of her doing a bare knuckle boxing fight against your one Megan O'Neill from, I think, Belfast. But sure, we'll see what happens, man. We will let everyone know. Ross, then we have to go into the fights. We started off with the Energized Show's All-Irish Pro Fight of the Year. There were 8 fights in total, so we split them up again. We kicked it off with Brady versus Grozev at Your Fighting Championships. O'Sullivan versus Tolman at Cage Warriors. Benny Johnson against Miguel against Adekuma, and McLaughlin versus Weddy at PFL. And the winner of that category was McLaughlin versus Weddy at PFL. And in the second category was Boychuk versus Gilpin at Akuma, Manning versus Kelly at Virtuous, Benny Johnson versus Troy Gibson at Akuma, and Elliott versus Moko Nwana at Cage Warriors. And the winner of that category was the Manning versus Kelly. And this one got a lot of votes, Ross. And the final winner was Corey McLaughlin versus Nahom Weddy at PFL Europe 1. Ross, obviously, Corey
what was the percent? Did it win by 51% or something? It was something it was ridiculously close, wasn't it?
Yeah, this one was won, but with 51% of the votes. The amount of people came in and voted. Corey McLaughlin obviously won this fight. Ross, what did you make of this and the way people got involved? Because Nahom Weddy started calling people out, talking about this. These votes and these awards meant something to people, Ross.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I thought Manning versus Kelly was obviously a great fight in the runner-up spot. Obviously, had its controversy, which we won't get back into. But it was the fight itself was an absolute slugfest of a fight for the two lads. Two brilliant characters. Also, massive shout out to Benny Johnson, who makes absolute wars of fights. Both fights against Troy Gibson and Liam McGow. We were at them live. That could add a bit of bias in there, but they could have been the fights of the year. I'll also say the finishing sequence for Brady Grozev is absolutely insane. I went back and watched these fights before putting them together. And if you actually look about 40 seconds before Brady wins, you'd be like, if someone told you Brady wins this fight in the next 40 seconds, you'd probably never believe it. Unbelievable sequence. But that Nahom versus McLaughlin fight, it had the bad blood, it had the scale, it had a bit of everything in it. Maybe not so much bad blood, but they sold the fight well. And this was the fight that people thought was the best fight of the year. And look, I think one thing you can say is, you might have a favorite fighter or a loyalty to a gym. I think when you're asked what your favorite fight is, you throw all that out the window and you pick the fight that you thought was the best. And people thought Nahome versus Corey McLaughlin was the best fight of the year. And look, I think I actually wouldn't mind seeing them run it back, to be honest.
Yeah, also has that like Fight Academy Ireland against SPG Ireland, so it was it had it all, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then, Ross, for the people that are tuning in, like there's a lot more stuff goes on behind the scenes in Irish mixed martial arts. It's not just the fighters. Obviously, everyone's there to see them, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, like the likes of your referees, your photographers, your commentators, obviously the people that run the events. But we wanted to give special categories to different people that get involved.
Show some limelight on some people who maybe don't get the limelight on a regular basis.
Yeah, so that's why we go Energized Irish MMA Awards Referee of the Year. And the nominees were Aaron Wallace, Derek Hickey, Dec Larkin, and Steve Moore. And the winner was Derek Hickey. Ross, Derek Hickey, that was a great year for him.
Yeah, look, Derek Hickey had a great year. He's one of the top refs in the country, no doubt about it. Did quite a lot of judging duties. I'm pretty sure he refed in Cage Warriors and PFL this year. So, look, absolutely phenomenal to see. The higher up that any Irish person can get across the MMA sphere is always something that we're proud of. Aaron Wallace was part of the UFC commission team, I think, over in Doha. The UFC's Aaron Wallace, as he's now called. That was really, really cool. Obviously, Dec Larkin is an absolute staple for Brave Combat Federation refereeing. And then Stephen Moore, who most people probably know for running Akuma, was reffing quite a lot this year. He was reffing amateur fights. He was reffing pro fights. Obviously, he runs his own gym as well. So I think a special shout out to him, because it's not easy to juggle that many plates. But again, sometimes they're short in referees in MMA across the country. So really, really helpful to have someone like him who can do it all. So shout out to Stephen Moore as well. Some great referees in this country. We're blessed to have them. And again, their job is to keep the fighter safe, and they do a very good job of it.
Exactly. Then we went with the photographers of the year. Like, as you know, myself and Ross put a lot of content out, and some of these guys' work that we obviously like need to use it for making the winners posters, this, that, and the other. So their work shouldn't be underestimated. The nominees were Amy Kelly from Fight Pals, Nikki Coyle, NC Shooter, Stephen Towers, Bloody Shamrock, and Chris Scott from Tenshu MMA. Ross, the winner was unanimously voted as Nikki Coyle as also AKA NC Shooter.
Yeah, it's cool because these guys have like different styles. And one thing I will say is a lot of these guys will go to an awful lot of shows throughout the year. And, you won't go to a show where, Stephen, Amy, Chris, Scott, or Nikki is not like there. One of them will be at all of them, if not multiple of them will be at certain events. So like really, really cool to see. The guys put in an awful lot of work. They take some unbelievable shots, some action shots, some celebration shots. Let's not underestimate their role in the MMA scene. Like, obviously, sometimes like we'll use their photos, and I know sometimes we forget to credit them, which is terrible on us. But we try our best to do it every time. But also, like, the fighters build their social media a lot of the time based off these photos as well. So let's not underestimate how good these guys are at their jobs. And look, sometimes if they're not there, people don't know the results of the show. So that's just the truth of the matter. So unbelievable stuff from all of them. So talented and so vital for all the runnings of the shows.
Exactly. Then Ross, we also did one for the commentator of the year. The nominees were Dave Farrell, Andrew McGann, Phil Campbell, and Paul Brown. And the winner was Phil Campbell, Ross.
Yeah, look, Phil Campbell is probably the most experienced commentator on the list. Obviously, himself and Paul Brown probably do most of the shows in Ireland. They definitely have the most shows on their list, I would say. Andrew McGann is obviously a great commentator, unique, quirky style. Obviously, Dave Farrell has entered the commentary fray this year, and obviously he's been signed up to quite a few shows, so great to see that as well. Look, there was plenty of other commentators that like could have maybe been nominated, but we're trying to get the ones who were on the most amount of shows. You know what I mean? Like people, someone wrote Aaron Butler, who commentates for Gladiator, found him very entertaining and enjoyed watching him. I think Matthew Elliott was commentating at Wrath, found that really entertaining. Obviously, Redzer commentates for Cage Warriors, which is obviously a high profile position as well. So there are plenty there. But look, Phil Campbell has been a mainstay in Brave, which is a huge organization for a very long time. And it's nice to just take note of how good he is at his job, how lucky we are to have him on the regional scene. And the Energized Awards went global because people in Bahrain started writing articles about us and Phil Campbell winning the award. So I think that's absolutely gas. But look, we love Phil Campbell. He's an absolute sensation on his job, and yeah, much deserved. I'm glad the people of Ireland have recognised him as the commentator of the year for 2025.
Yeah, the thing is that's undeniable about Phil as well. Not only has he got a great dress sense, but also his passion on the mic is cannot be underestimated.
Great vocabulary as well.
So, Ross, then we went to the cut team of the year, which are extremely vital as well. The nominations were Inside Out Care and Shamrock Cut Team, and the unanimous winner was Inside Out Care. Ross, how important are these people to the Irish MMA scene?
Yeah, but look, obviously, congrats to Jess, Brian, and the rest of the crew at Inside Out Care. Again, like these shows can't run without the cut teams. So that's how important they are. No cut team, no show. That's as simple as. And fair play to the Shamrock cut team as well. They had massive year as well. I think that they worked some of the Misfits boxing shows as well. So like really, really cool to see both teams thriving. There's plenty of combat sports events all across Ireland and even the UK. Like if you think about the amount of Irish shows there are each year, and then if you add in like whatever Muay Thai and kickboxing shows there are on top, the cut team are so badly needed. They're probably stretched as well. Like I'm sure maybe get on to Jess if you're interested in becoming a cut person, because I think they run courses every now and then, because look, it's one of the most vital parts, if not potentially the most vital part, to keep fighters safe and help them go the distance, as they say.
Exactly. Then, Ross, we get into the Irish Amateur Title Fight of the year. There were 12 nominees. So, Ross, the first four are Shields versus Ryan at Cage Conflict, Maskey versus McGill at Gladiator, Slavin versus Keogh at Euro Fighting Championships, and Buckley versus Wallace at Wrath. The winner in that category was Maskey versus McGill. Then the next one was Mahon versus Cleland at Akuma, Rhodes versus McGill at Cage Conflict, Sreenan versus Ryan at Euro Fighting Championships, and Nadar Dashvili versus Cronley at Elite Fighting Championships. And the winner in that category was Mahon versus Cleland. And the final four: Eagers versus O'Boyle at Akuma, Sreenan versus Mass Oliver at Cage Conflict, Barnett versus Halpenny at Clan Wars, and Patton versus McCafferty at Clan Wars 52. And the winner in that category was Sreenan versus Mass Oliver. And the final three were Mahon versus Cleland at Akuma, Maskey versus McGill at Gladiator, and Sreenan versus Mass Oliver at Cage Conflict. And the people voted that the Energized All-Irish MMA Title Fight of the year was Maskey versus McGill at Gladiator. Ross, what a scrap that was. We were talking about it earlier. We're back again, baby.
Yeah, I think it was an absolute phenomenal fight. I think a lot of good title fights this year. I think that Cleland versus Mahon fight was absolutely epic as well. Another fight I think maybe didn't get as much love as I thought it would. Eagers versus O'Boyle was an absolute war. They fought in a phone booth at Akuma. But look, Maskey versus McGill, two of the top amateurs in the country, went toe to toe, absolute war. And look, I'd love to see them running back again. That was no doubt about it, the amateur title fight of the year. Unbelievable fight.
Yeah. It was very difficult to get the title fights as well, Ross. There's so many good ones, you don't want to leave anyone out.
No.
Then we're on the home straight now, Ross, right? So we did the Energized Show's promotion of the year, because these promotions are very, very vital for everyone involved. So the first four were Gladiator, Clan Wars, Chaos, and Wrath. And the winner in that category was Clan Wars. The next one was Farah's Fighting Championships, Evolution, Euro Fighting Championships, and Cage Conflict. And the winner in that category was Cage Conflict. And the final four, Virtuous, Akuma, Valor, and Elite Fighting Championships. And the winner in that category was Akuma. So the final three were Akuma Fighting Championships, Clan Wars, and Cage Conflict. And Ross, the winner was Clan Wars for the Energized Promotion of the Year. They also won it last year, Ross. What do you make of Clan Wars this year, and what are you expecting in 2026 from them?
Look, Clan Wars put on a very well polished professional show. When you watch it live on the streams, it is a really, really good show to watch. In person, I'm sure it looks fantastic as well. Haven't been up to one. Must get up to one at some stage. But look, Clan Wars seem to put on a really, really, really professional show. Must say, Gladiator, obviously it's a new promotion. It's only three fights in. Very, very impressed with that so far. Chaos is one of the longest run shows in the country, so great to see. I know they've leaned into the Alpha Project a lot, which is great for them because it probably sells a lot of tickets, so fair play to them there. Wrath, also a newcomer, really, really impressive to see. Again, Farah's Fighting Championships, newcomer, and Evolution, bit longer in the tooth than Farah's Fighting Championships, of course, but great to have shows down south. Really, really important to have that. Obviously, Euro Fighting Championships is a real fan favorite. People love that. And then Cage Conflict always puts on a good show. The Devonish is always packed to the rafters. Really high level fights and top level people. I know you're thinking of the Pleasure Boys, Baz. Keep professional. And then obviously Virtuous, newer promotion, same with Valor. Great to have them coming into the fray. Akuma has been a mainstay for a long time. Really good matchmaking from Stephen Moore up there. And Elite is actually a newer promotion, but they are really, really powering on, putting on a lot of shows. I think we'll see Elite Fighting Championship 7 this year, this January, and I'm pretty sure they're only in business about 18 months, so they are milling out the shows at the moment. So fair play to all of them. In terms of Clan Wars winning it, look, at the end of the day, people are going to have their favorite shows. People, I'm sure, have their favorite shows to fight on. I'm pretty sure people probably have their favorite shows to listen to the commentary on. People probably have their favorite shows for everything. But look, Clan Wars, obviously, the people are big fans. They voted it as the promotion of the year again. So fair play to Christine, Paul, and the team up there. They do a great job.
Yeah, they do. Well, shout out to all the promotions. Like, to be honest, like, they're covering all of them, and it's something I love to do. So I cannot wait for 2026 to see what's going down. Ross, then we got into the ones that people really, really got interested in. Ross, first of all, we're going to kick it off with the amateur gym of the year before we do the pro gym of the year. So there was 16 gyms nominated for the amateur gym of the year. In the first category, Team Rhino, Next Gen Northern Ireland, ZKJ, and Hula Martial Arts. And the winner in that category was Team Rhino. Then, next four, Samson's Martial Arts, CMAC MMA, Aero Grapple, and Fight Academy Ireland. And the winner in that category was CMAC. Then we go into TNKF, Craic, SBG Nace, and Sanda Martial Arts. And the winner in that category was SBG Charlestown. Oh, sorry, SPG Nay, sorry, excuse me. Oh, no, sorry, excuse me. Sorry, it was Craic. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Then the final four, Team Torres, MMA Cork, SPG Charlestown, and SPG Ireland. And in the winner of that category was SPG Charlestown. And then the final four, Ross, for Amateur Gym of the Year were Team Rhino, Craic, SPG Charlestown, and CMAC. And the winner was CMAC MMA, Ross. Straight out of Blanchardstown, baby.
Yeah, D15, big win for the guys in CMAC. They had Nick Revenue win the Elite welterweight title. They had Daniel Lara win the Akuma middleweight title. Kai O'Sullivan won IMAF European Championship. Jake and Guy Euro Championships, Elite Fighting Championships, and the IMAC gold medalist. and then we also had Henry Lecco win the Wrath title. So plenty of gold being brought home to CMAC. Just for anyone who's wondering why other gyms might not have been included in there, the minimum requirement was that gym to have brought home one piece of domestic gold to be nominated. So if you didn't bring home any domestic gold, you weren't eligible to be in there. So look, CMAC had an undeniably good year. I don't think anyone will be too upset that they were the eventual winners. And there we're going to move on to the pro gyms, Basmo.
Ross, the pro gym of the year, right? So there was 8 gyms nominated, right? In the first 4 were Team Rhino, MMA Cork, Aero Grapple, and Hula Martial Arts. And the winner in that category was Team Rhino. And then in the other category, Team KF, CMAC MMA, SUG Ireland, and Fight Academy Ireland. And right now, it is still live, but the final 2 are Team Rhino against CMAC. And as it stands right now, Team Rhino are winning with 56% of the votes. Obviously, CMAC have 44% of the votes.
It is
Ross,
tight.
It is very tight. This is obviously coming out tomorrow. The winner will already be announced. Who do you think is going to be the Energized Show's Pro Gym of the Year for 2025?
Look, I'll start off giving some props to CMAC. I think obviously Kikyo was phenomenal this year. Alex O'Sullivan was phenomenal this year. Jordan Bradshaw was phenomenal this year. Trevor McKengo, was he 1-1 this year? There was obviously some great performance out of the guys. Not gonna lie, the gym as an overall whole absolutely smashed it this year. You know, a lot to be proud of the team there, and they're a young team as well. I don't think they have a pro who's more than 3 or 4 fights into the pro game. So, shout out to CMAC. For me, I'm just gonna edit Team Rhino just because they brought home that Cage Warriors featherweight title. I think Solomon Simon. That was one of the biggest moments of the year in Irish MMA. Obviously, Adam Jarby went 3-0 in Cage Warriors this year. Very, very impressive. I think Lewis Byrne added 2 wins. Jamie Abissa had a win. J.R. Harris went 1-1 this year. So, look, two absolute brilliant pro gyms. I think SPG Ireland are probably unlucky as well, just almost solely based on the fact Will Fleury is picking up wins over Martin Boudet and Nikolai Grozdev as well. Picked up the WoW FC featherweight title. So shout out to SPG Ireland as well. Some gyms could really put a massive push on next year, but some gyms only had like 1 professional fighter winning, and you can't be a 1-man band. We need to have a few fighters on there, just in case you're like, why wasn't that gym up for Pro Gym of the Year?
Yeah, exactly. It's looking like Team Rhino are going to win it as well. But look, all the gyms do epic work, and the thing is, this is like at the end of the year, it's I think it's good for gyms being recognized as the gym of the year. For all categories. I was just saying, from the cut teams to the announcers, to the fighters, to the amateurs, to the pros. It's good. Like, who else is really doing it? Like, the people need to be like show. People need to know who is the fighter of the year. Who's the person going to watch this year? Or like,
and we let the people decide it. Like, you know,
the people decide this. We don't decide it.
Yeah.
As Ross said, we only get a vote each. Ross, as it's looking like Team Rhino are about to be the Pro Gym of the Year. I also forgot while we're going through this. Hopefully people have enjoyed this show so far. So make sure to like and subscribe. I want to mention the lightweight pro fighter of the year. People got into the DMs and the comments and were asking, why didn't Paul Hughes get nominated for the Irish lightweight fighter of the year?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, Paul Hughes went 1-2 last year, and like, that's not a knock on him. He put on sensational performance against Usman Nurmagomedov. If it was who was the best lightweight fighter, he'd be there and he'd probably blow everyone out the water. But at the end of the day, we can't have people in the nominations who had a losing record within the calendar year. And look, at the end of the day, I don't think Paul Hughes was happy with the year he had. He is an absolute winner. He has an elite mindset. He wants to be the best in the world, and to be the best in the world, he knows he has to pick up that world title. So look, it wasn't a knock on Paul Hughes. If anyone had a losing record, they wouldn't have been in there. So look, I understand people's sort of sentiment that, like, yes, he brings a lot of eyes to the sport. Yes, he is like absolute top elite talent. Like, if you want to say he's the best Irish fighter in the world. Like, totally can see people make that argument as well. Big fan of Paul Hughes, always have been. Followed his career from the start. Just wasn't the year he would have hoped for this year. And look, he can easily become the 2026 lightweight fighter of the year.
Exactly. Well said. I think he was runner up for the Irish fighter of the year last year. Oh no, did he beat Ian in the end? I think Paul won it last year.
Yeah.
So there you go. Look, all these people are going to have like great years. Like, I mean, myself and Ross are so excited to cover the whole entire scene yet again. Like, this is going to be our 11th lap covering. Doing the Energized Show, and like we cannot wait to cover these events even more so. A lot of the promotions were in touch with us saying they want us at their events, so we're in discussions to do that. We're hoping to bring a lot of value to each promotion this year. Like, we just look forward to what is in store for 2026. Ross, we are here nearly an hour. We just have to say what is happening this coming week, because the UFC is back. But we just want to let you know, on Friday night, Zuffa Boxing's first event ever is going down in the Meta Apex. King Callum Walsh is headlining the event. Then UFC 324 is going down this weekend as Paddy the Baddy faces Justin Gaethje for the interim world lightweight title. We have a poll out at the moment saying who is people backing, Team Justin Gaethje or Team Paddy Pimblett, and right now it's 80% for Paddy the Baddy to win. Ross, what do you make of this main event before we wrap up the show, and who do you think is going to win the main event?
Yeah, I think Paddy the Baddy has turned a lot of fans around. I feel like a lot of people maybe thought he was limited or weren't mad in the way he fights and along those lines. But look, Paddy the Baddy is here to stay, and I think this is a very winnable matchup for him. I like the style matchup for him. I think if Gaethje is looking for that brawl, and he can't hurt Paddy early on, I think in the first 7 or 8 minutes, I think Paddy will finish him in the later rounds, and I think Paddy the Baddy via either submission or TKO round 4 is going to be my prediction for this one. And the interim.
They're both going to be on it. Look, people love Paddy, people hate Paddy. The thing is, like, I just think he's like very, very entertaining, and like obviously we're big fans of the next gen over in Liverpool as well. Like, so like we're I'm going to be backing Paddy. It's just going to be very interesting to see what type of Justin Gaethje enters the octagon. Like, is he? Because everyone has the memories of like this wild man. Like, is he a bit long in the tooth? Who knows? We will find out this weekend. Obviously, Amanda Nunes isn't fighting Kayla Harrison, as Kayla Harrison got injured. So the co-main event is going to be Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Also keep an eye out for Derek Lewis against Waldo Cortez Acosta. And also want to give a shout out to Arnold Allen that is fighting Jen Silva as well. Let me just check out the prelim card. Is there Umar Nurmagomedov against Davidson Figueiredo is also a fight not to be missed. Let's check out the early prelims. Nothing too crazy on there. Ross, that wraps up the show.
Yeah, it really does.
Those are some awards, man. Like, nearly a month long doing them awards, you know that? Started on the 22nd. They're going to end today on the 19th. The show comes out on the 20th. And
you got to give the people what they want, Basmo. You got to give the people what they want.
Just has to be done, man. Like, it's only once a year you reflect on the year, you give these people their shout outs and let them know that people appreciate all the hard work they put in from everyone involved, and we cannot wait to see it this year.
And the schedule dictates when the award takes place as well. I think, was it Leaf Fighting Championships had a show on the 21st of December, I think, this year, or something. They were late. Someone had a show late anyway that like meant we couldn't start the awards till later on. So the awards are going to be dictated by the calendar. So for some people who are like, oh, would you not start the awards earlier? It's dictated by the MMA calendar, so not dictated by us.
Exactly. And then shout out to Ross for making all the artwork as well. Like, so look, it takes a long time.
I'm spelling out all the names wrong.
Purposely catching me out, trying to catch me out for spelling names wrong. I can't believe that Roman David one went over my head. But look, And the Masky one. Oh no, there was another one, was it? It was Gladiator you spelled wrong, and there was another one.
Shout out to Roma David.
Okay, so Ross, we want to give a shout out to everyone. Thank you very much for checking out the show. If you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe. There are huge events coming up in the next few weeks. We're already booked in to go to ADCC and Cage Warriors 200. There's other big Irish events that we're looking forward to as well. And then there's big guests coming every week. Make sure to like, make sure to share, make sure to subscribe. And as always,
Stay
energized.
The Energized Show, up the Irish. The Energized Show, up the Irish. It's the face that runs the place, Chaos Curtis. I want to thank the Irish MMA community so much for getting behind me. You up the Chaos Cartel.